Hey, how's it going, art nerds, and welcome back to another video by me, Mr. DD Mark. And in this video today, you probably most definitely likely read the title. And yes, what else can I say? The channel has finally hit 30,000 subscribers. Let's go, baby. Round of applause to everybody all around. Thank you everyone who has supported me and supported this channel. This is a dream come true. I never even thought I would hit 3,000 subscribers. I am now at 30,000. That is crazy. But yeah, I don't want to waste any more time. Like I did for my 10K and 20K subscriber special, I'm just going to be answering you guys' questions because I like to give you guys an opportunity to better get to know me, DD Mark. Anyways, let's get right into it with the first question from About to Get Better. Hi DD Mark, congrats on 30K, love your art. How long do you think should a beginner artist focus on 3D shapes, form, and perspective before moving on to the next level? Thank you for your question, About to Get Better. Oh, also I should say before I move on, if I read your question but I forget to read your name, I apologize. I don't know why I forget to do that, it just happens. So yeah, anyways, back to the question. How long do you think a beginner artist should focus on basically the fundamentals? And my answer is until you feel you've had a good enough understanding of it. You're never gonna feel like you've mastered it. You just wanna keep going until you feel like you hit some sort of aha moment. And I will say, if you study these fundamentals and you still don't get that feeling like I don't feel as though I understand it enough, then maybe just allocate yourself a certain time to study it and don't go past that time, you know what I mean? So if you want to study form, then just give yourself a week, and by the end of the week, if you feel, wow, I still don't understand it, it's fine, move on to something else, move on to 3D shapes, and eventually just make your way back around to form and just kind of loop around it. Does that make sense? But yeah, I hope that helps. Next question is by Soleil Velasquez. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but I appreciate you sending me a question. Congrats on 30K, you 100% deserve it. Thank you. What are some manga you recommend as reference for a horror manga story-wise? That's a pretty interesting question. I don't really read horror manga because they don't really, that's the word. No, I just don't really read horror manga. I don't really read any manga that's not action shonen because personally, I don't know, my brain kind of struggles to stay focused because I get bored pretty easily. But whatever. For story stuff, horror-wise, I can't recommend any manga, unfortunately. I would have to recommend movies. Pretty much watch everything in Netflix's horror catalog because there are good ones in there and there are bad ones in there too. And I think when it comes to learning, a lot of people this is a very underrated tip. When it comes to learning and doing something, you want to just as much expose yourself to things being done the wrong way as things being done the right way. You know what I mean? Whatever. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that answers your question. Next question is by someone. Wow, very simple name. I appreciate you. Thank you for sending in a question, someone. Yo, DD Mark, congratulations. Thank you. Your artwork really inspires me, especially Ruthless Render. I have a question. In my experience, people, especially family members, are expecting of me that I should only draw for them and client what they like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I read the question. I just skip it over just for the sake of the listener. Do I have any tips for this situation? What I like to tell people is, look, man, it's your life. You don't want someone else to tell you what to do with your own life. Because at the end of the day, when you're unsatisfied with it and you're depressed or upset that your life isn't the way you would like it to be, they're not there. They're not the one going through it. It's you. It's not your parents. Don't live life for anybody else besides yourself and do things that you have fun doing. Don't do anything for anyone else. If your family wants to make you do something, you have to be an adult. You have to sack up and tell them, look, it's my life, not yours. I'm going to do what I want with it. But don't tell them DD Mark sent you if you get yelled at. Next question by Nightbox the Diamond Box. Catchy name, I like it. Dear DD Mark, hearing your amazing story and journey of how you became a pro artist really motivated my art journey of becoming a legend one day. Thank you. That being said, my question is, what is the point of art? Why does it matter? And how can it save lives in your opinion? Oh, and congrats on this. Thank you. I like your question. It made me giggle a little bit. What's the point of art? Art is about self-expression. I think that's what art is mainly about, at least to me. And I think that's why it matters, because it's an outlet for a lot of people to really just be themselves. I feel like I never really even fit in the real world. If you watch my videos or listen to my past, you know, how I grew up and everything, it was like kind of sucky, you know. I didn't have friends. I still don't have friends. I really just always felt most comfortable when I was just being creative, you know, doing all the normal stuff that most normal people like to do, like get a job and go to parties, and none of that has been for me. I've never been that type of guy. Drawing makes me happy because it's the only way I can truly express myself. So I think that's why it matters. I hope that's a good answer for your question. Next question is by Ink Kaiju. Congratulations, DD Mark, on hitting 30K subscribers. Your videos have been real great help, blah, 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 blah. My question is, what do you think is the best way to make your manga popular or get many readers? And also, are you going to be doing a face reveal anytime soon? Okay, when it comes to making your manga popular or to get many readers, I don't know if I can say there's a right way. I kind of just can only give you what I do. And I have like one popular manga, kind of. But I kind of just have fun, you know? I think that's a good tip. I mean, trying to aim to get lots of readers is cool and all, but there's certain authenticity and love that readers can subconsciously get from reading your stuff. If you're just making a comic book or a manga to check boxes of what is mainstream or what people would like the most, I don't think that's a good way to go about it. I might be wrong, of course. I don't know, because I just don't do that. I kind of just make stuff that I want to make. When I write, I don't like to think about who's gonna read it. I more so like to think about, do I like this? And that might be a bad way to approach creation, but so far for me, that's what has worked, and that's what I have the most fun doing. I hope that works, Inkaiju. Thank you for your question. Next question is by Jacques. Sorry if I said your name wrong. What a milestone. Please can you explain to us when and why did you choose to aim for being the greatest as a goal? I recently started to get out of my false narrative, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I read your question. And to answer the question that you asked, when and why did I choose to aim for being the greatest? I chose this question to answer on the video because I think it's time for me to address that goal a little bit. While I still see the version of me that wanted that person is still in me, but I think my goal when it comes to making comics and manga has kind of changed. I want to just have fun. Obviously, I want to have a lot of sales and have a series that does well, but being the greatest, I realize, is something that I can't control. You know, having fun is something I control. I would love to be considered the greatest, and maybe one day I might be. And honestly, subconsciously, I'm probably definitely 1000% still working towards that, but I consciously tell myself I'm just trying to have fun now. So that's what I'm doing. If you want to be the greatest out there, if you're listening, that's a very admirable goal. Don't let anybody tell you it's dumb or stupid, because I had somebody tell me mine was dumb. And for a second, I kind of listened to them, but they're not the reason I changed. I changed because of my own reasons, but whatever. I've kind of changed my goal from being the greatest to having fun, because it's less anxiety on my part, because having fun is something I can actually control. I can't control what people think of me. Whatever. Thank you for the question, Jacques. Next question is by Jet Black Misfit. How to deal with being a slow learner? I noticed the mistakes I make, blah, 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 blah. All right. So there's two questions in here. I will only answer one for the sake of time. Apologies, Jet Black Misfit. I'm going to answer the first one. How to deal with being a slow learner? You don't. I think some people just kind of pick up things naturally or faster than others, and I think that's fine. I would consider myself a very slow learner when it comes to like school, education. As a kid, it always took me longer to learn stuff than all the other kids in class. It's also why I'm a really bad test taker, and so for a while I did really bad in school. It was only till like later toward the end of high school that I realized I shouldn't be studying the same amount as everybody else. I should be giving myself more time to study, because I realized I'm naturally slower at most kids when it comes to like schoolwork and education. So to answer your question, how to deal with being a slow learner, do what works for you. It's not a race. Take your time without procrastination, of course, to do what you need to do. I get that it's frustrating to be a slow learner, but my tip to you, stop comparing yourself to other people. Learn at your own pace. I hope that helps, Jet Black Misfit. Next question is by Abir Asan. How do you know when to move on from a drawing? That inner gut feeling that it never feels quite finished. I always had that feeling up there. Personally, for me, it never goes away. I'd like to say I'm a master of it's just good enough. It's like kind of my motto. I'm the guy that's like, it looks good enough, I'm moving on. I'm not saying do things like me. It's just, for me, when it comes to manga and like comic creation, story is king. I don't need my art to impress you. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. If you want to claim I'm not a good artist, if you look at my manga pages, all I can say to you is go look at my Instagram. There's enough art in there to show you I can really go hard. My goal when it comes to a drawing or an illustration is, can people tell what I'm trying to communicate? If the answer is yes, then I'm not gonna stress over it. I'm just gonna move on when I feel like it's gotten to a decent enough place. Otherwise, you're gonna be working at that drawing forever. You don't have to do what I do, but I will only tell you what I do. I'm never gonna tell you something that I've never tried. Thank you for the question, Abir. Next question is by Malcolm Owen. Hi, did he kiss your mama, Mark? I love your content and your jokes. Your editing is beautiful too. Thank you. Blah blah blah. Chill in the heat. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, for sake of time, I don't read these questions, so don't get offended if I don't read it out loud. I read it before I select it, so whatever. So yeah, to answer your question, Malcolm, what I say to you is, bro, look, you can't tell me you're not earning any type of money. When people ask me questions like this, I'm like, you're not making any money? 20 bucks a week from your parents' allowance? You know, you don't have a job? You can work at McDonald's for a couple months or something? Basically, I'm saying that everybody is in a position to save up. And in the meantime, if you're saving up for a tablet or whatever device you need to do whatever you want to do, paper and pencil. I don't see any country in the world where you can't find a paper and pencil. I'm sorry if that's ignorant, but in the meantime, that's all you need to get what you need to get. Paper and pencil is enough, even if you never buy a tablet. Does that make sense? If you want to save up for any device you think you need, then do just that. Instead of buying that video game, instead of buying the ice cream, instead of taking this girl on a date, understand your priorities. If it's important to you, you'll save the money for it. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. Much love, Malcolm Owen. Thank you for the question. Next question is by High Defro. I was wondering, is it okay to be a jack of all trades? For example, I do art, working on music, and I play sports. Should I focus more on art? Congrats on 30K. Thank you for your time. No problem. Thank you. Thank you for sending the question. I think you should do what makes you happy. that being a jack of all trades, master of none bullshit. You have one life, do what fucking makes you happy. If being a master at one thing is what makes you happy, then go for that. If being a jack of all trades is what makes you happy, then go for that. Nothing is better than the other. Personally, I would probably align myself into the both category because I want to be a jack of all trades and be a master of all of them, you know? So if you saw my story that I put up on Instagram a couple of days ago of me recording this, I have a bunch of plans that I've made in terms of the projects that I want to do in 2023. And if you read closely, there's a lot of projects that I'm not familiar with. And the reason I'm doing them is to get better at them and to keep getting better at them. So I'm making a romance one-shot, which is very strange for me because I'm the action shonen guy. I want to make a horror one-shot or dark fantasy one. These are not my avenues, but I want to push myself to get really, really good at everything. And that's what makes me happy. So you don't have to do what I do. Just do what makes you happy, hi Defro. But thank you for the question. Next question is by Gracie Boy. What anime world would you like to get transported to? It's a good question. I would want to get transported to the world of Bakuman. Why? Because it's pretty much the world we live in already, but like better, because it's much more colorful. Because the real world is gray and lame and sucky. But anime world is colorful, everybody has colorful hair, everybody is just nice. And in Bakuman, I want to have manga friends like they do on that show. Most of my friends just draw pretty pictures on Instagram. No disrespect guys, I love you all, but I want to have a friend who's as into making manga as I am. I've yet to find that. But thank you for the question, Gracie Boy. Next question is by Worcester Blue. As a fellow cat dad, how old is your cat? Mine is 16. Hello fellow cat dad. My cat is turning 3 years old and this is him on the screen with his cute little bow tie. Isn't he so adorable? I bought him that bow tie. He hates it, but I love it. So I'm gonna keep it on him. Next question is by Spoon of the Gaw. Congratulations on the milestone. My question, what was the first comic / manga you read? The first comic I ever read was like an old Batman comic from like the 70s. It was back when Batman's costume was still light blue. And the first manga I read was probably Naruto. And I wasn't even into manga back then. I was just in boarding school and I was bored. And like one of my roommates had it, and so I read it. I didn't even like it because I read from like volume 17. So I was like, what is going on? Whatever. Thank you for the question, Spoon of Gaw. Next question is by Toby Shades. With the rise of manga, do you think Western comics are dying in your opinion? In my opinion, I don't think they're dying. I just think they just need to do something different. Something needs to change, whether they need to hire a whole new staff of people or change their whole approach to making comics. The fact that the West is losing to manga in their own markets is crazy. The fact that Japanese manga can come to America and outsell every single American comic book for the most part, that sucks. That looks bad on the American comic book market. I think Western comics needs to change or adapt in some way to more so capture this generation, because if you ask me, the American comic book market is not for us. It's not for our generation. I don't know if they're aiming for us as their target demographic, but we do not care. Whatever American comic books are up to, we do not care. I mostly realize that comic book fans, people who still care about what comics are up to today, are in their 30s or 40s, because those are the people who used to buy comics during the golden age of comics back in those days. Does that make sense? So my opinion, Western comics can make a comeback, but something needs to change where they can grab the appeal of the Gen Z demographic. Does that make sense? And Marvel, if you're listening, this is crazy and a shot in the dark. I will make a Ghost Rider manga for you. Scoop me, bro. Hit me up in the email. Whatever. Next question is by Aaron11111S. Papa Mark is becoming famous. Famous is kind of a strong word. But how do you render backgrounds in your manga? Can you give some tips? I copied the way backgrounds were done in Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, One Punch Man, pretty much every manga I like. Literally just copy it. Eventually you start to see patterns and then you stop having to need to Google what manga backgrounds look like in those manga. Does that make sense? Basically, it took me a while to get here to this point where I feel like I understand backgrounds now. So my advice to you is keep going and keep trying to get better at backgrounds. Eventually you have your aha moment of, oh, so this is how backgrounds are done. I hope that helps, Aaron. Thanks for the question. Next question is by Manga J2000. Brother, why don't you be answering your Instagram DMs? I'm sorry, Manga J. To answer your question, and whoever is listening right now, if you DM me, I'm so sorry. I'm probably not gonna see it. I might see it and I might respond to it, but I'm probably not. I get so many DMs now, it feels like a waste of time scrolling through trying to find which ones I want to answer to, because there's just too many. I just can't. I already lost track of it. There are probably important people in my DMs trying to reach out to me, trying to work together, and I don't know because they're just lost in the sea of DMs. But I hope that answers your question, and I hope that puts anybody who's DM'd me their minds at ease. If you want to do anything business related, I encourage you to email me and not shoot me a DM. If you just want to compliment me or tell me you like something or something like that, if it's not that important, then you're better off leaving a comment on one of my videos because I read all of those. But Instagram DMs, I can't guarantee I'll see that. I'm sorry. But yeah, with that said, that was the final question. And yeah, I hope this was entertaining or fun to listen to or something. But yeah, whatever. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did, I appreciate it. If you made it all the way to the end. Again, I would like to say a huge thank you for helping me and helping this channel hit 30K subscribers. I entered the year with about 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers, and my goal before the end of this year, 2022, my goal was to hit 5,000 YouTube subscribers. It's crazy to think I'm at 30K now. Thank you all so much. And another huge thank you to all my lovely, beautiful Patreons for supporting me, because although these YouTube numbers keep going up, the money numbers don't necessarily go up too. But yeah, shout out to my Patrons, because they're the reason I'm not starving every single day. They're the reason I can take care of myself and in some cases take care of my family, cat included. So yeah, if you want to join my Patreon and support me as well, the link is in the description down below. And yeah, last but not least, don't forget to like the video to let me know you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well, because that helps out the channel. And don't forget to leave a comment, because I read it all and respond to most comments. Till next time, art nerds, it is I, Didi Douchebag Mark. Peace and love, baby.